What happens when desire collides with loyalty? Emily must make a choice that will change everything. But will she dare to follow her heart or stay loyal to the man she thought she knew? In a single breath, everything changes. As the door creaks open, Emily faces a choice she never expected. Three men, a tangled web of emotions, and the secret she's kept hidden. Tonight, she must decide. Will she betray everything she's known, or will she follow a path that could tear her heart apart? Oh, hi there. Are you prepared for a tale that will quicken your pulse and ignite your dreams? What if I whispered that finding yourself might open the door to a thrilling journey, one that teeters on the edge of what you thought was possible? On that Thursday evening, an unexpected hush wrapped around the house, thick with unspoken feelings. The clock ticked softly, each second a reminder of the moment I awaited. Caleb's familiar knock at 6 p.m. had become my heartbeat, a secret melody in the quiet of my day. Tom, my husband, would often settle into an armchair, his leg crossed, while I lost myself in thoughts for hours, yearning for something just out of reach. But tonight, silence hung heavy in the air. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart racing as I scrolled through my phone, torn between the urge to reach out and the weight of unspoken rules. My heart raced with uncertainty. Could this truly be the last moment between us? Perhaps John had grown tired of this unspoken tension between us. The thoughts weighed on me, and I hated that they had this power over my emotions, yet they did. It had been a month since that fateful meeting with Caleb, and in that time, John would linger in the shadows of our room, watching us with an intensity that felt both haunting and electrifying, as if we were caught in a complex web of emotions. Initially, I braced myself for vulnerability and discomfort, yet his mere presence stirred emotions within me that I couldn't ignore. With Caleb, everything shifted, awakening pieces of me that had been hidden away for far too long. Aiden had woven himself into my life, and with each passing moment, my heart whispered emotions I dared not confront. But now, there were three of them, tangled in a web of unspoken connections and unnoticed gestures. I glanced at Tom, my voice trembling with unspoken feelings. "Did you plan this?" His casual shrug felt like a spark in the air, a hint of something intense and unpredictable just beneath the surface. "It's all part of the thrill, Olivia. Isn't that what you craved?" I gazed at him, then at them, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and longing. This was supposed to be about rediscovering a spark, about awakening a part of me I thought was lost forever. Yet now, it felt like I was standing at the edge of something breathtaking, ready to take flight and embrace the unknown. The anticipation of what lay ahead stirred excitement within me, and I couldn't resist the urge to dive in. Caleb's voice cut through the haze, drawing me back to the present moment with a jolt. "Can we come in? Or are we just going to stand here all night?" I stepped aside, a rush of excitement and uncertainty mingling in my chest as the three men crossed the threshold, their presence igniting something unknown within me. Noah's smile was a warm flicker in the shadows, a moment that felt both comforting and intense. A warm smile danced on Ben's lips as he introduced himself, his smug grin igniting a flutter in my chest that I desperately tried to suppress. Tom, with his serene demeanor, poured himself a drink, and a flutter of excitement danced in my chest. This moment felt charged, as if something important was about to happen. Olivia's voice lingered in my thoughts, a soft whisper pushing me to surrender to the moment. Just a week ago, I had found solace in Noah's embrace, and now, in the quiet of my living room, three men stood too comfortably, stirring a whirlwind of emotions I never expected to face. How do you know each other?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of curiosity and something deeper, something that felt almost wrong to acknowledge. Aiden shrugged, a casual facade masking the tension between us. Caleb's connections loomed in the background, a reminder of the worlds we navigated. The word hung in the air, a secret yearning to be whispered, a thrill that felt both exhilarating and forbidden. My tongue whispered a hidden vow. Daniel leaned forward, his heart racing as he rested his elbows on his knees, caught in a moment that felt both thrilling and wrong. You seem to accept me, and I thought maybe you'd be open to something different." He was right. I had convinced myself that I craved thrill, an escape, a spark that felt just out of reach. Now, standing here, my heart raced with an intense excitement, a spark of something that felt both exhilarating and uncertain. I was poised on the edge of discovery, eager to explore the unknown. This was going to be a night that would linger in their hearts forever. John stepped closer, his gaze tender, as if he finally saw the unspoken truth between us. "Olivia, this is your moment. You decide. If you want them gone, they will leave." His voice, soft yet intense, sparked something deep inside me. If I gave in, what secret journey might await us? What secrets would it unveil for me and these three men? I caught a glimpse of Noah. His effortless smile ignited a spark deep within me. His calm acceptance of my choices only deepened the longing I felt for him, a yearning that felt both thrilling and uncertain. I breathed in deeply, not to calm my racing heart, but to savor the fleeting thrill of the moment. My eyes flickered between Caleb, Noah, and Ben, and a charged tension enveloped us, a magnetic pull that ignited the same exhilarating thrill I had first felt for Caleb. My voice trembled, not from fear, but from the thrill of what was about to unfold. I craved this. Daniel moved closer, the air thick with unspoken tension. "You don't have to choose just yet," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "We can take this one step at a time," he said, his voice a soothing balm in the charged air. Tom's nod felt like a promise, a fragile thread connecting them in a world that whispered of danger and desire. "Take your time, Olivia. No rush." Yet, in that moment, I felt the weight of unspoken words and stolen glances, as if the world around us held its breath, waiting for a spark that could ignite everything we dared not say. An intense excitement lingered, urging us to explore the allure of the unknown. The air crackled with tension, a sweet thrill coursing through me as I barely held back my longing to discover what the night had in store for us. The silence hung heavy, electric with the thrill of what could never be. Deep down, I felt a stirring, a whisper that whatever happened next would change everything between us, and I was ready to embrace it, no matter the cost. As our gazes met, a rush of warmth spread through me, and a hesitant smile began to form, filled with unspoken longing. His grin deepened, reflecting the thrill that coursed between us. He let out a quiet laugh, his eyes sparkling with the knowledge that I was prepared for this moment. John lifted his glass, his eyes locked onto mine, a silent promise hanging in the air. "Welcome to the next chapter, Olivia. Let's create a memory that lingers in the heart." And just like that, the evening began, charged with unspoken tension and a thrill that felt both exhilarating and uncertain. The air crackled with unvoiced emotions as they stood together, caught in a moment that felt achingly beautiful yet utterly forbidden. My heart raced, a mix of anxious energy and a thrill that felt dangerously close to desire. "Tonight, it's all you, Olivia. Just let go and embrace the moment," he said, his voice warm and inviting, igniting a spark of exhilaration within me. "Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me for a moment," I whispered, my heart racing as I slipped towards the door, the weight of unspoken words lingering in the air. My silence spoke volumes, and the fleeting look I shared hinted at a secret longing, something precious, yet just out of reach. As I stepped out, their gaze lingered on me, filled with a mix of longing and unspoken desire. I slipped into my room, gently shutting the door, savoring the solitude for just a heartbeat longer. I slipped into something enchanting, a dress that clung just right, catching the light and drawing their gaze, meant to stir a longing that felt almost forbidden. When I walked back in, the air crackled with an unspoken tension. Caleb's eyes locked onto mine, a fire igniting between us, while Noah's smile widened, hinting at something we both knew we shouldn't explore. Ben, the newcomer, looked at me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. "Wow, Olivia, you look incredible," Daniel said, his voice soft and filled with unspoken longing. Noah's voice dropped to a husky whisper. Girl, you're a feast for the eyes. You're far more than just a fleeting temptation. Ben, struggling to keep his cool, said, Yeah, you really know how to make an entrance. I smiled, savoring the thrill of his gaze on me. Thank you, gentlemen. Your words mean a lot. Tom's charm lingered in the air, a hint of something unspoken between them. My heart raced, and I craved this moment. The air was thick with unspoken desires, and I felt a rush of excitement igniting my very soul. Daniel took a step closer, his presence igniting the unspoken longing between us. We'll go as slow as you need, he whispered, his tone tender. Aiden stepped closer, his aura both grounding and intoxicating. Then there was Ben, lingering in the shadows, his hand brushed against mine, sending a thrill through me, and I smiled, eager to delve into this uncharted territory. It started with subtle touches, each one intentional and slow, as if they were biding their time for me to give into the moment. The tension melted away, giving way to a surprising warmth of acceptance. John stood in the corner, his calm demeanor a bittersweet reminder that there was no turning back. This was unfolding, and strangely, it felt like freedom wrapped in secrecy. Daniel leaned in, his breath warm against my skin, and I nodded, a thrill coursing through me, a secret we both understood. It felt like a dream, a moment that defied all my expectations. Ben's hand brushed against the small of my back, his gaze filled with a youthful charm, a mix of longing and curiosity that sent shivers down my spine. A rush of nervousness and excitement surged within me, mirroring the turmoil of my heart. Noah's soft chuckle wrapped around me, his voice a warm whisper that sent shivers down my spine. Just breathe, Olivia, let it unfold, he whispered, and in that instant, I gave in to the thrill of the unknown. Time slipped away, each moment merging into the next, as the walls around my heart crumbled, revealing depths I never dared to explore. A thrilling rush coursed through me, igniting a fire I knew I shouldn't embrace. John stayed quiet, his presence a soft warmth, punctuated only by a nod or a whisper of support that felt like a secret shared between them. Oddly enough, his presence wrapped around me like a secret, deepening the moment and making it feel almost otherworldly. The room fell into a hush, and an unexpected warmth wrapped around me, stirring something deep within. Aiden shattered the silence, his voice a soft whisper filled with longing. You okay, Olivia? I nodded, my silence heavy with unspoken words, too weary to share the storm inside. Caleb's grin was a mix of mischief and warmth. I told you it'd be fun. Ben, breathless and dazed, struggled to process the rush of emotions that had just swept over him. That was incredible. John finally stood, stretching his arms overhead, a hint of longing in his eyes. I suppose that went well, I said, forcing a tired smile as they started to collect their belongings, my heart heavy with unspoken words. As I sank into the softness of the pillows, a wave of warmth enveloped me, not just from the moment, but from a profound understanding of my own heart. Uncertainty wrapped around me like a shroud, making me question if this was just a stolen moment or the beginning of something forbidden and profound. In that fleeting moment, I tasted freedom, and it was enough. John leaned in, his fingers brushing my shoulder, sending a shiver down my spine. Sleep well, Olivia, he whispered, and a flutter of hope ignited within me, making me believe I truly would. The night passed in a blur of unspoken emotions, lingering glances, and promises left unmade. As the morning light broke through the curtains, I was left with a sense of longing, a quiet yearning for something more, something that could never truly be defined. The events of that night felt like a delicate balance between chaos and calm, something that could easily slip away if not held carefully in the hands. I lay there in the quiet aftermath, wondering if I had made the right choice, if this was the beginning of something that would change everything. My heart felt full and empty at the same time, a contradiction I couldn't reconcile. What would happen now? Where would this path lead me? All I knew was that I had crossed a line, and there was no going back. Tom's voice broke through my thoughts, a soft murmur as he sat beside me. "Olivia, you know you don't have to go through this alone. Whatever happens, I'm here." His words were comforting, yet there was something more in his eyes, a silent understanding, as if he, too, knew that everything had shifted. The air in the room felt heavy, charged with the weight of what had happened. I turned to look at him, searching for the right words, but nothing came. Instead, we sat in silence, each of us lost in our own thoughts, yet connected by the unspoken bond that had been formed. Noah, Caleb, and Alexander were still out there, waiting for me to decide what came next. But even now, I knew that this was about more than just them. It was about me, about who I was becoming in this tangled web of emotions and choices. And in that moment, I realized something crucial. I wasn't just discovering them, I was discovering myself. I stood up slowly, the weight of the night pressing down on me. The room felt smaller now, suffocating, as if the walls were closing in. I needed space, a moment to breathe and gather my thoughts. As I stepped outside, the cool air hit my skin, and for the first time, I felt truly alive. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of a new chapter, one where everything was possible and nothing was certain. And as I looked out into the horizon, I felt a flicker of excitement. Whatever came next, I was ready. Because in the end, it wasn't about the choices I had made or the people involved. It was about me, about taking control of my own story. And for the first time, I was no longer afraid to write the next page. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tales of love, betrayal, and choices. Stay tuned for the next chapter. What will Emily choose next?